Yeah.
So Maestro, my guitar teacher, right? He's a 70-year-old from Argentina. He like was telling me this story, and he's saying like, this is like how his voice sounds. He's like, I tell you, Peter, in a moment, I tell you, when somebody a suicide, when they do that, they do for a reason. I tell you, my friend, longtime friend from Spain, he's fantastic. And then he's like, he write me a letter, and then he walk into the ocean, and he walked there, and I never see him again. And he was like, he just walked into the ocean.
Damn, dude, that's a hardcore way.
And that's how he died. No one ever heard from him again.
That's like a tragic end to a movie or something.
He kept
right?
going.
Yeah,
and then he said that another friend he had took a selfie video with a big shotgun holding it towards his head.
Kurt Cobain style.
Yeah, killed himself, took the video.
Wait, did the video stop?
Yeah, how the heck do you post that and stop the video?
That's what
I'm saying he didn't post it, but like it was a found video.
Oh, they found it.
Yeah.
But like, you know how there are those videos on like Live Leak and stuff? That means there are videos where it's like somebody kills himself and then they'll have like somebody who finds the body and then they start shrieking, which is apparently horrible and will haunt you for the rest of your life. So I never recommend watching those videos. But that footage has to mean that somebody who had possession of the video, probably the person who found the body, somehow either gave it to somebody else who posted it online or posted it themselves, right?
Are we ruling out like the possibility that it could have been live streamed so that it was just doing it on its own?
Oh, I guess it could be.
And then somebody like screen capped it.
Yeah, right.
Did that.
And then like stop the video.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly. I didn't mean for this conversation to get so.
I mean, that's why like Watch People Die got banned, right?
Yeah, I think it got banned too for like some other topical stuff that was going on. But
it's still there, but it's just
quarantine. I think.
You have to like ask to be a part of it.
Have a bottle opener, by the way.
Work, right? That's what the tools are for.
Speaking of tools, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, we're all tools.
We're all tools.
Welcome to episode 21 of the Actually Nothing podcast.
21.
Our
21 drink.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the 21 meme in there because I think
There's
it's
a meme
funny.
for 21.
Yeah, you know the kid that's like, "What's 9 plus 10?" 21.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Meme. Yeah.
Just during the height of Vine. Rest in peace.
Have you guys seen that tweet with Michael Bloomberg spending $500 million on his campaign?
Oh, and then he can
give, and that since he spent $500 million on his campaign, he could have gave every single American $1 million because there's 327 million Americans in America. And then it was a bad take, but a lot of people got fooled by it. Because think about it, $500 million and then 327 million Americans does not equal $1 million for each American.
No,
that's bad math.
Yeah, but there's so many people.
Quick math, but bad math.
Quick but bad math.
Yeah, but the tweet is like it blew up, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, it's so true. There's so much money in politics. 100 million or 1 million for every American would have been so nice." But it's like
I like to use this as fodder for how the hive mind of any sort of large collection of people is not actually smarter than any one person.
Oh my god, definitely not. I think it just magnifies how stupid certain individuals can be. It's kind of just at the mercy of whoever's the loudest voice, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, and they have to have that check mark next to their tweet, you know?
Yeah, being verified.
Yeah, that makes like you credible.
Which means nothing.
Have any of you seen the Bloomberg dance?
No, he did a dance.
No, so
it was a different guy, right? Tom Sawyer, right?
Sawyer did a dance.
Oh, okay.
But these two comedians had decided that Mike Bloomberg needs a dance. And so they made a dance and then posted it under the guise of being part of a Bloomberg campaign. And then when they were called out by it, they were like, "This dance is actually not the Bloomberg campaign thing." They responded with like, does this mean you're firing me?" Like, and they played it really well. No, I would suggest looking it up. It's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So are you saying this Bloomberg is your shout out, your quick shout out?
I'm not saying anything like that. Well, who's your shout out?
My quick shout out my quick shout out will go to U of I or University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign because today
say a quick shout out.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of people.
I know it's a lot of syllables to go through, but it's today's unofficial.
Oh, that's
and
right.
It's my first year not being there in the last 5 years, unfortunately.
Why are you not there?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm here hanging out with you dorks instead.
Hey,
we're still drinking, so
hey, unofficial.
Right? So happy unofficial to all you youngins who are still there and any of my friends that are there. That's my quick shout out. Who wants to go next?
I got nothing.
You have no shout outs?
You never have a shout out, Dan.
I
That's
mean,
all right.
maybe I'll get one.
That just means that the next time he has one, it's going to
super
be
important.
super special.
Mm.
Yeah.
Peter.
Who's you got a shout out?
Yeah, I actually got a shout out
Yeah.
to my roommate's cat,
Oh,
Otis.
I love Otis. He's a nice cat.
Yeah, Otis is a nice cat.
Why do they call him Otis?
That's his name.
Odie.
That's just his name.
Odie. Yep.
There's no like fun history behind it.
No, it's my roommate's uncle's cat that he took from Colorado when he went on a trip there. Came back with a cat.
When we were hanging over at your place and I was going to sleep, I woke up in the middle of the night because I felt like pressure on me. And he just curled up on my stomach and went to sleep. I was like, all right, and then I went back to sleep. It was
Yeah,
the
he's a
cutest-
sweet little
cutest
cat.
cat.
Not this time, sleep paralysis.
Yeah, definitely not a sleep paralysis demon.
Dude, I have sleep paralysis. Okay, real quick. I have sleep paralysis like almost every night.
What?
Oh my
And
God.
I swear, like not almost every night, but a bunch. And I always have the same dream where I'm trying to punch someone and I can't in my dream.
Slow motion punch.
Yeah, I
I've had
like
that
slow
before, too.
motion.
You gotta try to cock your fists like a gun. That's apparently one way to
Really?
alleviate that. I think it was a scene in Mission Impossible where I forget who the actor was, but they go like this, like they're getting ready to fight, and then apparently that helps people in their dreams. So try that next
When you
time.
say helps people in their dreams, does that mean they actually get to punch, or that?
Maybe they become lucid. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I
try
feel
that.
like I lucid dream so much, man. It sucks.
Dude, I literally forget every single dream I have.
Oh man,
I'm like,
that's nice.
I don't
Nice.
remember.
I just have really obscure dreams. I think the last one I had. No, I don't even remember that. It
Who's your
was
shout
really
out?
weird though. My
Shout out to your dreams.
I mean, could be, man. I think my shout out to this time, it's gonna be all of American Samoa for being the only place to vote for Bloomberg and Gabbard, the possible worst delegate votes. So, congratulations,
peace.
you did it,
Yeah, this is an important year for
American Samoa.
America.
But they don't even. They're not even able to vote in the general election, though.
They could vote for this.
I guess that's why they voted for Bloomberg.
Did the Girl Scout Samoa cookies originate from the American Samoa?
I would say it's opposite.
No, okay.
I would think that the American Samoans actually originated from the cookies.
Ooh,
I used to think that the name of the
That's some
cookies
hell
was
of evolution.
salmonellas, so I called them salmonellas for a long time.
Salmonellas.
Yeah, instead of Samoas.
The only reason I like that is because it takes away money potentially from the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
So I
Girl
want to
Scouts are
raise
like,
up,
you got cars.
I want to
now.
raise an under the bus right now.
Okay. Okay.
My quick under the bus that I just thought of
Is
it.
this another regular thing that we have to do every podcast?
I don't know if we have
Under
to.
the
It's not
bus?
going to be a section. You can
Okay.
do it whenever you want. But
Well,
I
I
was
have the
just
stinger for
reminded.
it, so.
I was just reminded of how bad Boy Scout popcorn is. I'm throwing that.
We had
shit
this conversation.
under the bus. Did we? It's happening again because it's bullshit.
2 episodes ago.
I'm gonna throw it under again.
Okay, do it again.
Yeah, you know,
garbage.
throwing it right under the bus because if they think that they can even remotely compete with Girl Scout cookies with dumbass popcorn, then you're fucking mistaken.
Are they the same organization? Like somebody runs both the Boy and Girl Scouts?
I don't know.
The them scouts.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 2020, so you can't discriminate these things anymore, right? They have to be fluid,
Yeah.
fluid scouts.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
The them
This has
scouts.
started off
brownies,
really well.
Well, them.
and whiteys, and
they
they sell brownies,
Caesar
whiteys,
Scouts.
reddies, yellowies, every color.
Do you think they could combine then? If they're the them scouts, they'd have to combine their dessert then. They'd have to be some sort of
cookie
weird amalgam of
plus
cookies and popcorn.
popcorn? A
Yeah.
pookie. I'm just kidding.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no.
That sounds like an Urban Dictionary term for genitals.
I think it is basically.
Probably.
Yeah. Like what's that thing?
Pookie, man. I think it is.
F them right in the pookie.
Oh,
That's why it sounds like
wow, 2016
oh man
reference.
Jeez, yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, because I forget to do this every episode, I'm Aaron. JP's over there. Dan's over there, and Peter.
I don't think
Hello.
cardinal directions
Back.
help anyone in this.
No,
actually.
but
Over
it's
there.
fine.
Over there.
Maybe
Can I be yonder?
I was just gonna say, but if you want it, you can have it.
You can have yonder.
No, I don't want yonder now.
Dang it.
Yeah, that's right.
I hope by this point people would recognize us and be able to differentiate our voices. But unless it's like the first time they're viewing the episode, I don't know.
We've done a lot to experience each other together for a long time now.
I don't like the way you said that and looked at it. You're saying it like we're in like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. You're like,
It's us and
All
the
right, everyone.
listeners.
I mean,
Hi, I'm John Paul, and
yeah, it's not
I'm
that
a
far off.
alcoholic.
To be honest.
I'm a podcaholic. I mean, yeah, we.
yeah, I actually want to refill. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm
Fine,
not
the
even
night's young. This is probably the earliest that we've recorded in a while, considering we
What is it? Midnight.
we tend to do these like upwards of one. One of my
I think the last one we did, I was definitely fading at the end. I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, I'm tired." But this is kind of like the
Dude, I
TBK
faded
tradition.
like in the middle
Oh,
of it.
yeah,
I was gone.
Well, I
okay.
think it's great because this is a point at the night when our inhibitions are kind of released a little bit, and because we
Yeah.
get a little loopy, we kind of just shoot the shit, you know?
But that's kind of the essence that we're trying to achieve, right? Do you remember those nights? Everyone who's had a sleepover and understands this. You stay up until some ungodly hour of the morning. Everything's hilarious because you're loopy as shit.
Yep.
Well, let
We
me.
capture that aesthetic,
Yeah.
and then streamline it into a consumable product.
Let me tell you what that consumable product would be for me and Dan. Actually,
Okay.
is there was one summer where you would play. We'd play Halo till 6 a.m.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
We would take an hour nap, and then once it hit 7, we'd go to the park and we'd play basketball while the sun was rising.
With the apple seed.
And it was like 60 degrees in the summer, so it was amazing. And there was like dew on the grass. And
dew.
It was the dew. I was like,
Wow.
this is like such a serene environment to play like one-on-one.
I don't remember you having these like crazy
You must have been in
nature of
college.
existence moments.
Yeah, we did it like
Bro, it was sick, man.
we did it for like a week straight, like every single day. Like
It was pretty baller.
That sounds about as long lasting as your and Dan's like 5 a.m. gym thing.
that was nice too. That
That
was
was
like a
pretty sick,
month
too.
thing.
I don't know
Well,
how
no,
you guys
we
can
went
do that.
ham for freaking.
I cannot.
Oh, we went for
Because
like
we had to go to
semester.
jazz band. Yeah.
Well, I guess for the school year, we tried going every day if we
Yeah.
could.
That's nuts.
I want to throw back to when we cousins were over that one time. It was that one
Oh,
summer. We'd
all
stay
of
up
us
till
were here.
4 in
Oh,
the
we were
morning.
playing
We
Sleeping
stayed up-
Dogs, right? Hello?
Yeah,
We played
Sleeping
Sleeping
Dogs.
Dogs. And then we'd stay up till 4 in the morning, go to Export, play basketball for 2 hours, and come back.
Go to Udall Hill
We went to
for
the
the sunrise.
hill, yeah, to walk. That was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That was cool. Yeah,
So you
Udall's
guys,
iconic,
you know,
man.
Catch a sunset.
Remember when we did Celtics Lakers?
Oh,
For the
yeah,
finals? that was cheesy.
Wait, what
as
was
hell. With Satit, man. We
And
did-
Dominic was there too, and Nick.
Was I there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
dude.
remember that.
We all like picked players from the Lakers. Like I was Lamar Odom or something.
Yeah.
Wait, were
Yeah.
you like role playing while you were playing actual?
Pretty
Kinda.
much,
This is
yeah.
LARP
I was Paul Pierce. JP, you
Like
were like,
junior high.
This is LARP skitball. We did it.
That's gotta be.
You were like
oh,
Kevin
dude, there's
Garnett.
Definitely a thing.
yeah, you don't remember? I think like
Dominic was Paul Pierce or something.
Dominic was Paul Pierce somehow.
How does that work?
Nick was Ray Allen or
Yeah.
something. I bet, yeah. Or something.
That
It was
sounds-
something
something
weird.
dumb. Satit
Yeah.
was in there.
I'll give him that.
Then we cleaned up the Osborne Park of all the fireworks that were out there. And then remember our dad came with the croissants.
What?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember cleaning anything
He
up.
nourished us with like no, it was Pastor
you with
Katanas gave us croissants.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
went,
no, Dad brought
Are
us
you going
pretzels.
to finish your croissant? Croissant?
Dude, I never liked croissants. That's a hot.
What?
take
You're
for me.
crazy. Have you never had like a good croissant breakfast sandwich?
The sandwiches are not bad, but
the
croissants
bread-
by
I think when it
themselves.
becomes a sandwich, it becomes less about the croissant and more about
Okay.
the sandwich aspect.
Here's a
Yeah,
question:
that's, okay, I didn't consider sandwiches.
Are hot dog sandwiches?
Oh yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so you know, I teach a guitar class for like undergraduate electives.
Okay,
like,
it's
for
kind
the-
of irrelevant.
No,
but
I asked them
sequitur.
random
Someone we
questions
learned
at the
about.
beginning of class.
okay,
Yeah.
that's your thing.
So one of them was like, "Is chili a soup?" And like another question was
Is
like,
cereal a soup?
"Yeah, cereal." And another one was, "How many times? When is it appropriate to roll up your pants by your ankles?" But I also asked this question: Are hot dogs sandwiches?
Huh? What's
Yeah,
the
I
consensus?
have rationale because I've answered this question.
Consensus was actually well, it was yes, technically by like definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
But like
feel
most
like yes
people
is
were
an easy
very
definition
they were
to
very
grab.
they're very hesitant.
Okay,
about
but
it,
forget
though.
those people. What do you think?
Hell no, dude. It's
Okay.
a dog, dude.
All right.
That's a dog.
What
I
about-
agree.
what about
Are
you?
you putting us on the
I
spot?
agree, man. They're
Dog.
separate
Yeah,
entities.
let's have
completely.
everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your
But
explanation?
it's is it a sandwich? Yes or no? And then if you have a rationale to explain your position, then go with it.
So I'm gonna say that if we're gonna do this, we standardize. Hot dog means hot dog plus the bun, and because of that, I'm gonna say no. Because on a hot dog bun, it's not disconnected, and so for me, it doesn't work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my rationale too.
That's very true. It's a
Because-
single unit.
Single.
Yes.
It's basically like an unfinished ham sandwich,
exactly
right?
For me, a sandwich has to be various items in between two separate pieces of bread.
Two discontinuous
It's-
pieces of bread.
It's a
Two arbitrary pieces of bread that have nothing to do with the contents on the inside. Whereas a hot dog,
It's hot
Sure.
dog bun.
It's very much
whatever
to
Wait, think
whatever
about
you
this,
put in the
too.
middle doesn't matter. It's just as long as there's stuff between two pieces of bread, it's fine.
yeah.
And think about this too.
yeah.
Because we
yeah.
can't separate the hot dog meat from the hot dog bun, which is given the similar name as a unit of the hot dog itself, we shouldn't separate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, listen, even if we did, the hot dog by itself is just the meat, really, which is not a sandwich.
But
in any
so by
regard,
calling
you
it
know?
a hot dog bun, we say that the hot dog bun is thus a function of the hot
a
dog
property
itself.
of the hot dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then how else would you make the abstraction of folding a paper hot dog versus hamburger?
That's
without them being two distinct, separate things.
There you go.
oh my god.
That's getting real pedantic.
As if this whole conversation
know.
wasn't pedantic,
Pedantic.
but full of pedantry.
I think the whole argument boils down to the squares are a rectangle, but rectangles aren't a square type thing.
Yeah.
Where the rectangle is the bigger. So in this case, a sandwich is a bigger classification, and then a hamburger would be like a subsection of that.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
Yeah.
Is that the same conversation of a rhombus is a I don't even know.
A rhombus is a
Come on, college
rectangle,
degree.
right?
Is it?
Isn't a rectangle just defined by
4 sides.
two pairs of like sides?
Yeah. I think so.
Plus,
Rhombuses
360
are
degrees.
that.
But does a rectangle have to have 90-degree angles though?
Yeah, otherwise it won't be four-sided.
What every angle has to be because
Yeah,
a rhombus
90.
Well, it's a
is curved,
slanted
right?
rectangle.
So, like, the angles
That's
won't be
a
90.
rectangle?
Yeah.
Isn't it like? No, I don't know.
Well, nobody gave a crap.
Well,
about
is
geometry
chili-
None of
anyway.
us were math majors.
Is chili
Clearly.
a soup? That's
Huh?
I think
Well,
that one's
see,
that one's harder to me.
Is
than
I
the-
chili
think soup can also be the bigger generalization because, like we said, you throw the same question with cereal.
yeah.
It's a more
It's basically
liquid
soup. Yeah.
paired with. Actually, no, not even necessarily, because sometimes soups are just a broth.
I mean,
right?
what about hot chocolate then? If you add marshmallows, is it not a
Oh.
chocolate with marshmallow soup?
Oh,
That's true.
Dude,
what a brain blast?
it's one of our deepest podcasts.
here's another one I've got.
Okay.
How do you define salad? Is potato salad real salad? And if such
What
a thing is
constitutes a
true,
salad?
would that mean isn't pasta just a type of salad?
Oh, pasta salad.
For me, salad the primary ingredient has to be a vegetable, and if you consider potatoes a vegetable, then yes,
What about
Ooh.
pasta salad? Primary component is pasta.
that's true.
Well, I think it also has to be cold. I think that's a huge component of it too, because like pasta salad, potato salad, regular leaf lettuce salad.
Okay.
All of it's cold, right?
What about chicken salad?
Chicken salad is cold.
Is that
It's
primarily
a cold
made
sandwich.
of chicken?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a cold sandwich though.
I guess so. I'm trying to think of hot salads.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
hot
so
salads, I
Wouldn't
think.
then just a collection of vegetables also be a salad?
I guess.
I guess fruit salad. Yeah, so
Right.
technically,
What if it's like hot
Yummy.
vegetables though?
no, that's not.
No,
a salad.
you can't call stir fry like a bunch of. Why not?
That's not a salad.
It has to be cold.
I think it has to be cold. Yeah, for some reason I can't comfortably say
Hot salad
That,
probably
like,
just sounds disgusting.
hot salad sounds like steamed vegetables, which is like a dish in its own, a
what-
side in its own. But I see where you're coming
Right,
from. But
right, right.
no, I think it has to be cold for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, if you put enough ranch into your salad, will it become a soup? A vegetable soup,
Oh,
right? Because it's a liquid.
Bigger
It's enough
question.
liquid.
Technically,
If I don't put enough items in my ranch, is it just broth with croutons?
Oh, that's disgusting. Can you just down ranch like it's nothing?
No, but like people are like more like ranch with the side of salad.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
it's
even
the
like
oldest
ranch.
fucking joke in all
I
of
know,
time.
man.
You know.
I did used to buy those bags of croutons, like the seasoned croutons.
Oh,
and just
dude, the
eat
yellow
those like
bags?
chips.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
they're
about.
tasty.
Well, you know what I
Croutons
buy
by
now
themselves
is when I'm feeling bougie, cheese crisp.
are
For
good.
salad.
Wow.
The circular cheese crisp.
Those are pretty good.
You just drop them in the salad.
Yeah.
Or you know what I do now is I put shredded cheese on the pan and I use that as a tortilla.
Oh,
and
that's
I put a
right.
hot piece of ham
That's
in.
right.
And then sour cream.
Have you
And then
seen-
I put, my friend told me this, I put pretzels crushed in the middle. And then you get a crunchy component in it.
I'm not really sold on pretzels.
The pretzels are good, trust me. And if you use like, I don't know, like dots, like the butter
What?
pretzels.
Dots?
You've never had dots?
No.
Oh, my,
I think
I'll
of
buy
Dippin'
some.
Dots.
I'm only
No,
I'm a Oots type of guy.
What? No, I'll buy them tomorrow.
Or Schneider's.
They're like buttered pretzels. They're like
Schneider's
flavor
buttered
medicine.
pretzels. We have them upstairs.
Speaking
I'm
of
talking butter. I'm talking. You're gonna feel it.
So wait, if you have butter pretzels, at what point of butter saturation does it become a butter soup with pretzels?
But they're not liquid.
No,
I mean,
no,
it
they're
could be.
not. This doesn't melt. Like they're pretzels. They're dry still.
I'm thinking a stick of butter with pretzel bits inside of it.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of crushed pretzels, I killed the first goldfish I ever owned with crushed pretzels.
Are you talking about Fimpy?
Fumpy.
No, Fumpy.
Fumpy,
No,
okay.
that was a beta fish. That was different. I had a goldfish for some reason in like the typical crappy like plant
Not
bowl
filtered.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we didn't have any fish food, and I was like, oh, he's hungry, so I have to feed him something. But we didn't have fish
You
food.
fed him pretzels.
Yeah, so I was like, I didn't realize that animals sometimes don't respond very well if it's food that's outside of their regular diet. So in my head, I was just like, oh, he just needs to eat something that's small and that he can, like fit in his mouth, right? So I went, oh, there's a bag of pretzels. Let me just crunch them up in my hand and put them all over the top of the bowl. And then I'm pretty sure the salination from the salt killed him the next day.
Yeah, I was just about to
There's
say,
just
like,
a
for a,
thick layer of crushed pretzels at the top, and
for a young Aaron,
Brutal, man.
fish food only depended on the amount of pulverization that it experienced.
To be fair, I made them small enough where he could have eaten them if he wanted. So maybe he tried, but I think I salted the water a little too much.
He's like
Maybe
swimming up towards
maybe you
the
buttered
food.
it a little too much. Did you use dots? I heard dots is a lot of butter.
Listen, man, this won't mix with your water. This is fatty.
I made
pretzels.
fish soup.
Oh,
You
technically,
mean poop? I'm just-
fish soup with the added extra little spritz. Of,
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Eat your heart out, Gordon Ramsay. There's a new Michelin star earner in town.
It's
At what
rare.
point? At what point does a collection of fish become fish salad?
or salad, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically.
You can't just throw the first.
I've been doing that all
letter
night.
in front
Dang
of
it! I gotta stop.
Why not
Fish fillet.
No.
A fillet.
Welcome to the
Get outta here.
podcast.
Welcome to the Fodfast. Yeah,
That's like that one thing we used to do, where it's like,
we used to start every word with H.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like,
ha hands.
You sound like Doodle Bob. Uh-huh.
What about that stupid laugh we used to do when like that was like with the H too, man. We like,
I mean, generally, most laughs start with H.
what about if you're Japanese
No,
to
not
do
Mr.
a W, man?
No,
they
listen,
go, wow,
Mr.
wow, wow.
Krabs
that's
starts with a G.
Mr. Squidward.
Yeah. Think
is-
about
he
Mama
kinda sounds
Krabs
evil.
even.
Have we ever discussed how Pearl is the daughter
Oh, shit.
of a crab?
Didn't know what's about to happen because he's
Was
sugar
she
baby.
adopted?
She's a sugar baby, and he buys her all the stuff.
That makes sense. He's got a bunch of money.
He's
I'm
like,
gonna subscribe to
Pearl.
that one.
And like she's like, "Hey, daddy."
oh,
Oh,
I don't like how you said that.
Yeah, I feel like there's supposed to be some backstory to this, but like,
Maybe it'll be revealed in that new SpongeBob series. Did you guys see that?
No,
I'm always skeptical of new SpongeBob.
Yeah, me too. But they have a new movie coming out that has a very interesting visual style. Have you ever seen Into the Spider-Verse? Mm-hmm. It's got that similar
is
kind
that
of.
the one with Keanu Reeves in the bush?
oh yeah,
He was in the bush.
he's in like a
big-
tumbleweed.
He's in a
I didn't know
tumbleweed.
that.
Yeah, it's a big meme, right?
Oh, in the SpongeBob movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Into the Spider-Verse. I was like,
No,
oh,
no, that's very.
But it's got a
Eclectic.
similar animation style to that, and apparently it's supposed to be the prequel to SpongeBob. So
Interesting.
they're all babies and
Why
stuff.
are we doing this to SpongeBob?
They're really milking that horse dry.
They milked it dry with seasons like 4 through 9.
Yeah, after the original writer Steven Hillenburg, right? That was his
Yeah,
name? He
well,
left.
he left and then he came back and then he died.
Yeah, but apparently the one season, that he came back for put
For which
it
he
back,
came back?
on for which he came back. Sorry, sir.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
It put it back to original SpongeBob form for that brief moment. So I don't know.
Good. I mean, I don't give it that much time before they fuck it up again, but
I believe it's the only show now from the 90s that is still running on Nickelodeon.
Wow.
Everything else has been discontinued. No Fairly Odd Parents. No.
I'm
Jimmy
the
Neutron.
Dimmadome.
on the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
I saw a guy who cosplayed as Doug Dimmadome at C2E2, the Comic-Con that I went to
Really?
last week, and he had a big old hat made out of paper that was like 9 feet tall. It was incredible.
Dang.
Yeah. Props to that guy.
And he all day he was just like, "I'm Doug Dimmadome.
Owner of the
Dimsdale
Dimmadome.
Blubber nuggets."
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other notable thing he ever said was blubber nuggets.
Blubber nuggets.
I just remember that episode because of the "It's my ball"
to share. Yeah, I remember that too.
right?
Eliza used to get really mad when we say that for some reason.
And that's about the extent of that entire joke.
yeah,
right.
I know. I was just like, it's just ingrained though, you know?
I mean, this really just walks onto territory that only a few select people would ever remember that. I don't think anyone remembers that one very moment from a random Fairly Odd Parents episode.
You know,
Maybe
I
not.
feel like everyone remembers all the random moments from like cartoons, you know?
It's a pretty specific generation of people though. That
Yeah.
remember that. Like,
You
it's
know?
like us plus or minus a few years. You know, 'Cause
Yeah.
that was
And
the
it's like
time when we
people,
grew up
I
with
feel
it.
like all of us could think of like a moment in cartoon where we're like, yeah, I bet not a lot of people remember this moment from this random episode of this random show.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
during SpongeBob, because we always quote
Yeah,
SpongeBob
all the time.
I always think of, well, you're a turkey. What's that? It's what you are.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Stuff like
The
that.
best example of circular reasoning.
Exactly.
The other one that I think of is that one episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Chester has the bees.
Bees.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, too many bees.
Yep, and that's it.
That's the moment
That's
I think
the
of
That's
too.
the moment. That's
And
it for me. It's like of all the moments to have stuck with me for the last 15 or so years.
No, it's not
why
it's
that?
not the basic like F is. No, it's not that.
No, no,
man.
that's
It's the
base.
random stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's a part where you know the episode where they swear in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, my tongue feels tingly, and he's like, ooh, me too. He sounds like a freak, dude. And like sometimes I just think of that. I'm like, why? Someone in the studio had to go like into the mic. Like,
The guy who voices Patrick is like a really old dude. I saw a podcast where the voice of Carl was doing a podcast with the voice of Patrick. So Carl and Patrick were talking to each other.
that's
Wow,
awesome.
what a weird.
He's like, "Oh, Patrick, how are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, Carl."
I really like that.
That's as good as my impression of those two characters go.
Yeah,
A
about
Patrick
2
impression is
sentences.
really hard. I don't
Kind
think I
of.
could do it.
You have to
Because
make it a
it's-
little like,
Yeah, you gotta deepen
A little
your
bit of
voice.
that with a
call
little
him
bit of.
Yeah.
you know,
It's
something
kind
like
of
that.
got like an idiocy component to it, but it's also like deep. And I don't know. There's something about it that makes it unattainable and very like, pristine Patrick.
Crew.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like
Do you remember that Cosmo or season 1 Cosmo had a different voice than
Yeah, it
later?
was
oh,
deeper.
that's right.
It sounded like a regular person, and then he went.
Yeah, his
later.
voice got higher
Yeah.
really quickly.
Yeah, I feel like that's the equivalent of Felicia Rashad in
Is that
the
the voice
Cosby
actress?
Show.
Oh,
Do you remember in the Cosby Show when they switched Aunt Viv from like?
Well, no,
one-
you're talking about Fresh
that's
Prince.
Fresh Prince.
They
Oh,
switched,
that's
and
right.
it was no, you're good though. No, they switched moms in Fresh Prince though. I remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
And like I don't know like who was there like first or second or whatnot.
They
but-
didn't acknowledge it or anything in the
I don't
show. I
think
think they just
so.
hoped that the audience would be like, "Okay, that's new."
What the thing is, they didn't look anything like each
No,
other.
not at all. Is this
Hmm.
the topic of the episode? Since we are kind of winging it, just reminiscing on old shows
I
Old
feel like
show.
you guys just remember stuff, man. I don't know how you guys managed to remember all this
because we
crap.
wasted so much time watching them over and over again.
Like when you guys, I have the recall memory when you guys bring it up,
Yeah.
like vaguely. But the fact that you guys actually have the what's that other one? There's like recall and then retention, something like that. But
Just
you,
that it's
okay.
still in our heads somewhere.
yeah, you guys are able to spit it back out. You guys have that memory. Like that's insane.
I think it helps that we bring it up every so often so that it stays fresh.
I don't know about you guys, but I have these moments where I'll be like doing something menial. Like I'll be on the train, and then unexpectedly and unwantedly, it'll just come up in my head like this moment.
Yeah,
I'll
and
go,
you'll be
"Huh."
like, "My ball, touche."
Yeah, just like-
you'll
just out
just
of
like
nowhere.
randomly say it, you know.
right?
Like while you're like cutting onions, you'll be like, I don't know,
I'm chopping lettuce at night. You know,
night.
something like that, right? Like
and when you actually burn your hand, you're like, I burned my hand, and you look outside and
At
it's actually,
night.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, I had that idea. The other day I was thinking, or I was like pooping or something, and then I just went, and then that went down a whole nother spiral of
Then you
the
think,
crossover between that and Cheese from Foster's Home, which, by the way, is my favorite Cartoon Network show of all time.
yeah,
Yeah, Foster's Home was
that was
great.
a good one.
that's a good show. That'd probably be my top 3.
I'm trying to remember what other like cartoon
Camp
shows.
Lazlo was solid.
I did like
Chowder was solid.
Chowder was
regular
solid.
show was,
Chowder.
but Dexter's Lab was definitely took the cake
Yeah.
for me.
Regular show worked for me for about 2 seasons before they started throwing in that romance arc. Are you
Yeah.
familiar?
Yeah.
After that, it
What was
like,
her name?
It was like one with a cloud, right?
But it was Mordecai and Rigby, and what was the girl's name?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
That's the lasting
There's a
effect of that
cardinal and a
character.
blue jay.
Yeah, it was the Cardinal.
The biggest thing I remember from regular show is
Ham-boning.
exactly ham boning, and then they do the thing.
Camp Lazlo followed a similar pattern for me with Jimmy Neutron, where originally I hated the show for
Really?
no reason. I just didn't like it, and then I
Oh.
guess after being subjected to it because I had nothing else to do, I ended up really liking it.
Really?
Yeah, I used to hate Jimmy Neutron.
You
for
hated
no
Jimmy?
reason.
Oh man, Retroland. I love that.
That's like
stuff.
it's like my friend who really hated Jim and Nick's. No, not Jim and Nick's. What are those licorice hard candies that you suck on?
Licorice,
Yeah,
Twizzlers.
No, no,
Twizzlers,
it's not, no,
Red
it's not
Vines.
Twizzlers. No, it's not. Really.
Lifesavers.
You're just saying things now.
Never lasting
like a small-
gobstoppers.
Yeah, the small
Candy?
ones. They're like
Lemonheads.
no, they're licorice
Warheads?
flavored. No, not
No,
warheads
they
either.
weren't warheads.
Anyways, he had like he got one of these big boxes of it for Christmas, and he hated those things. But by virtue of it being there when he needed something on which to munch, he would just go chomp and just go for it. And then by doing it so often, he just started liking them.
Wow.
Yeah, and I feel like it's the same way with this. Sometimes with those TV shows, that's how it went, right? Like they were just on, so it's like, why not? We have to do this.
It ends up being a what's the term when you're being held hostage and then
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome
Dude,
situation.
what was it? Beyblades, man. Beyblades was always.
I used to
on.
get up in the morning and watch Beyblades.
Beyblades was
every day
nice.
before school.
You had the arena, right?
I had the
to let it
arena.
rip.
Yeah,
We had all the. I think we had something like. 15
we had
or 20.
Dragoon. We had the turtle thing, like the salamander. We had the bigger ones too, and the smaller ones. But the smaller ones were like the legit ones.
more
actually.
dense.
Yeah, but like the bigger ones would always win because they were made out of like big plastic.
Hey man, size isn't everything.
Yeah, no. Well, I was just
I don't
thinking.
like where this is going.
It's how you let it rip.
I still don't like where this is going.
The small one.
Did
was
you guys
better,
get into
so you're
Bakugan at all?
More dense.
No, I never got into.
I think that was a
Bakugan.
little past our time.
Yeah, Bionicles though.
I still have
Oh,
my
yeah.
Bionicles.
You have all of them.
I have a lot of the
Weren't you-
very early sets.
You were really into that one. Like there was one specific season of it where you were really into the whole thing.
of Bionicles?
Yeah, yeah. I remember you
wouldn't be
had most
surprised.
of them.
Legos was probably the biggest toy thing of my childhood.
Oh,
I still
really?
have them, so apparently those older sets can sell for a decent amount
Yeah.
of money. But I kind of want to hold on to them because it's like sentimental value. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You could be on an episode of Pawn Stars. And, hi, I'm Rick. And then you're like, so these Legos, let me call a buddy of mine.
I know an expert on Bionicles. And it's
On
like,
Bionicles,
you guys
yeah.
definitely just Googled somebody.
Yeah.
and pulled someone off of Craigslist to talk about this.
Right. I feel like the iconic toy I would have is probably the Guitar Hero controller.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I
Over there.
mean?
I have
Two
this
of 'em.
video
Like-
of you that you did. Like you were here. I think the last time you pick up the Guitar Hero thing, you play it for a second, and you put it back.
That's it.
Yeah, it's all.
Hero.
Well, I'm like taking a video of you. You go. You pick it up. You can go. And then
Here's
you
the
just put
thing.
it back.
I was probably like playing like Raining Blood or something, like playing through that, something like that,
That was the hardest song in
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 3.
Dude,
Get
that
through the fire and flames.
when you
That was-
had it on the Wii, like that's what made me buy it on the
it was so easy
PS2.
because it was nice and it was wireless. So
Yeah, the wireless.
I
was
still have it
nice.
too.
Yeah.
There was a point when we were playing Guitar Hero with Aaron, and I think we were at his house for a while. And we were like, we didn't have enough controllers to play,
Yeah.
so like
Oh, yeah.
actual Guitar Hero controllers. So Aaron took an actual controller, and we started
Wiimote.
playing. No, he took a PS2
PlayStation.
controller.
Oh no, that was at your house.
That was at our house.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought
It
at
was
your house.
here.
It was a PS2, yeah.
And then Aaron beat us with the PS2 controller.
he won.
Because I somehow memorized the L and R buttons would
That's
also
crazy.
correspond to like playing more than 2 buttons at a time, and I remembered it for a very brief moment, just enough to beat you.
That's awesome.
The highlight of my gamer career.
You peaked around then.
Yeah, it's all downhill from that point on.
If not like the controller, like the PS2 console in general is just like so iconic. There's so
Fat
many.
PS2.
Yeah, like Sly Cooper, man, like Crash Bandicoot or Ratchet and Clank, Spyro, Spider-Man, and the Super Soldiers.
Oh,
Tekken, dude. Like
really scary.
There's so many hit games on the PlayStation 2. You know, it's just
UTV
like
Off-Road Fury.
Off-Road Fury.
Mark
Still the
Davis
best-selling
Pro Bass
console of all time.
Challenge.
Is it really?
Yeah, because people bought it not to play games; they bought it for the DVD
That's true.
player.
Oh,
So
honestly, the games on it were really good.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
GameCube, PS2, Xbox, like a very
My favorite
very
generation.
strong generation.
Well, I
of
think
consoles.
because back in the day they had to rely a little bit more on gameplay rather than the looks of it, because the looks were more of a novelty.
But you should
Like,
have seen Dan play Siphon Filter.
Oh yeah.
That game was garbage. That was so bad.
for anybody who wants
we
to
got that
waste
game for
their
free
time,
for a reason. That game, Dan tried. You played it for 2 hours and got past the first level. Literally
that game
took
sucks so
2
bad.
hours, man.
if anyone can find it, go to your local Blockbuster and rent
Siphon Filter, the Omega strain.
Yeah. It's literally at the beginning of the game, they premise you with like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to figure this out on your own. We want you to
literally
be
have to figure
creative.
it out on your own.
Yeah. And it was like the game was so dumb. Like you had to go in this weird area, get the one part of the potion, and then go back into the weird area. The enemies always
And
spawn.
half the time you're just crawling through a tube, and it took
Yeah.
so long.
We even looked up walkthroughs for it, and it still didn't match up with
Yeah.
what we were doing because it didn't make any sense.
That game sucks.
I felt good when I beat that level though.
You were
I
the
felt
only one who
good.
had the willpower to beat that level.
Speaking of willpower, that's kind of like how we approached Cabela's Alaskan Adventure.
Aaron, that game was iconic too.
It was kind of fun though. I
If you
won't lie.
think about this time in our life, when Derrick Rose was really good, still, well, I mean, he's good, but when the Bulls were
Pretty
like
hurt.
in the playoffs, yeah,
Pretty suck.
everyone would come over, and then what we do is watch the Bulls game, and they either win or lose, right?
Yeah.
And then Aaron would hop on Cabela's right after Cabela's Alaskan Adventures
Yeah,
and
it's
hunt a bear.
it's a shitty hunting
shoot a
game.
Yukon moose from 40 meters away. We'd be like, oh, I wasn't 40 meters.
The best part about it was going into all the missions, not reading any of the directions, and just kind of like
Just going around
I
with
think
your
this is right.
You go around with your moose call, go like everywhere.
It'd tell you to go hunt the Kodiak bear, and we shoot like 3 of them, and there's like it's either the size isn't right or it's not the Kodiak bear.
And then
It's
you
like,
get a
why are
you
there
get a
other things?
strike for it too.
Yeah.
And like that's gonna be a one strike.
There's that annoying narrator that was always,
Yeah, they're like, haven't you learned your lesson or something?
if you're driving around on the truck and you go too fast, they're like, whoa, slow down there, partner.
yeah, that's right.
Or if you shoot too close to the cab, and they're like, that's gonna be one warning for you.
And then there'd be those times where we'd be going through the whole thing, and we'd get to a level where you'd get like mauled by a saber-toothed tiger. And that you get wrecked by some
Yeah,
sort of
you just
lynx.
stand still and let them come at you while you have to shoot them.
Well, what was our only strategy besides that? All we had to do was like get close to it, hope that we could no scope it from like 4 feet away.
My brother used to go in with the knife. He'd like slash the animals.
If anyone's going to beat
Use the
that,
knife.
if anyone
Dude,
was
he
going
went
to play
ham
that
at
game
that game,
seriously,
man.
it would
He
have
was
been
a
your
beast.
brother. Yeah.
He always like used to
Be a beast at Cabela's, man.
He always used to like zoom in on where he got the kill, like on the headshots or the gut shots. He'd always zoom in on it. He'd always go in with the bow and arrow.
Hey man,
Hit
there's
the wolves.
a market for it because they've made more than one of those games since.
Yeah.
so
Like
people love 'em.
honestly, I kind of want to like. It doesn't have to be on the podcast. I kind of want to watch you play through it. You know, the
we
whole
haven't
game.
finished it. I mean, you still have it, right? I
Yeah,
have a
we could
PS3.
do it on the 360. That'd be fun though to watch like the rest of Cabela's just happen.
Just to play,
over
like,
some drinks.
old shovelware games.
But I'm going to bring this up because it's reminded me of playing through old games. There was a post that went on where somebody tried playing an old Legend of Zelda game, and then they only got to a point where it's like, oh my god, the downtime. Like, I think a lot of these games that we played as kids had all this downtime and all this grinding, and now that we're adults, you can't reasonably enjoy grinding on a
Oh
game
my God, no.
anymore, right? Just because there's so many other things
That's why
to
you
do.
can't get good at Smash Bros right now. Like as good as you want to probably get.
you just don't have the time to put in.
You want to go in training mode and learn this crazy tech, but you're like, no.
It's not as enjoyable if you feel like you're.
I don't know,
wasting your
man.
time.
I know
Yeah.
plenty of musicians who do grind on Smash Bros.
Yeah. But to your point, it's also the fact that nowadays there's so many, not even related to games, but stuff with our phone and computers and stuff. There's just so much quality of life that if you go back even 5 years to like, I don't know, whatever version of Windows that was,
Yeah.
it seems so much less efficient and more annoying to get through. Like games are less fun because there's all this annoying bullshit you have to go through because we just didn't
It's
realize
part of
that
the
people
journey
hated
though,
that
too.
stuff.
And honestly, okay, that's the way I feel about movies because I feel as if like people who really like the old Star Wars, we enjoyed watching like Luke develop as a character or Han Solo.
Are we gonna get into this right now?
I'm saying no. I'm saying
Let's get into the Star Wars.
Is it
Yeah,
time?
let's
Are
go.
we
Let's
doing
do it.
this?
Let's
Okay,
go.
wait.
I'm saying
Have we all seen the last one?
Yes, I
Yeah,
think.
that's right.
Okay.
So what I'm
we can
saying
talk
is-
about it.
Warning, spoilers for Star Wars Episode 9 incoming.
I think that the old ones, you kind of went through a journey and you grew with the characters, but
Yeah.
like I feel like people nowadays really just like it because it gets kind of right to it. It's almost as if like they don't want to experience like the hardship or like the growth as a character.
Well, and this is one
People
of
are
my
just
big-
impatient with it. That's what games feel like to me, honestly.
So, I mean, that really plays into how loot boxes work and how you can basically buy your way through a game. But to stay on the Star Wars track, that's one of my big complaints about Rey as a character.
That's what I said,
I
too.
want to like her,
Yeah.
but the entire time she never experiences real hardship. She basically is good at things when she touches it. And so naturally, we never see her struggle, whereas when we look at Luke as the same
sucked,
archetypal
man.
character, Luke sucked. The
He
whole
was
time
bad.
he was bad.
It's that overturning adversity that's very appealing. You know?
Do we remember in the 5th episode? Man, this is so fucking nerdy. In Empire Strikes Back, he goes through a little bit of training, only to go back against Yoda's like desire to get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
right.
Like, he's failed again.
He loses a hand in that.
Yeah.
And then and then even in the 6th one, when he gets captured, he still gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
right,
Dude, that's
So-
like Frodo, man. Frodo gets like fucked up like so many times.
By the spider.
Yeah, Sheelob's
That was
lair.
horrible.
That's why when he finally gets it done though, it's so much more satisfying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's really the journey is just as important as the product,
And I think to that extent as well, because it's less about the journey, there's all of these things that happened in the original trilogy that they just try and recreate. They want to recreate the Han, Leia,
They
and Luke.
even Lando with freaking Donald Glover.
Yeah, but
You know?
but like the way that I look at this,
But he was
it's like
good, but,
They
like-
they redrew every main character into their original archetype. Han Solo goes back to being a smuggler after going through this huge character arc in the original trilogy. Leia goes back to being some sort of rebel alliance leader. Luke goes back to being shitty. And so like they just kind of revert back to their old characters, and then they have 3 new characters that also fill those same
Those
roles.
same exact
yeah,
roles.
we have what's his name? Poe. Poe, who's supposed to be the hot smuggler, like pilot guy.
Yeah.
Then we've got Rey, who's the archetype character, and then Finn, who just sort of would have been a great character had they treated him correctly.
Such squandered potential.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
There's a lot
the
of squad.
potential,
And then you-
dude.
and then
Love
you-
those movies with the production and everything, man. Everything could have been so much better.
Yeah.
but
I
it's
do
so,
appreciate that one scene where she blasted Chewbacca out of the sky with the lightning,
dude.
with the Force lightning.
more
That was a
people
big spoiler,
needed to
but-
die.
I
was
think
thinking
he should have
oh,
just
sorry.
stayed.
Yeah, if they killed him off,
What?
that would
I
have been
think he should
hardcore.
just stay dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why are we not killing characters? This is
Yeah.
fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
someone
as-
should die.
Yeah, as much as it's a kids sort of thing nowadays, or at least it's understood to be.
Huge complaint though I got about one of the new Star Wars. I think it was
Huge, it's like 12. It was like 20,000 complaints you can have.
I know. Well, I'm saying the biggest thing. I think it was the first one that came out.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, number 7. Is that the one where Princess Leia flies through space?
That's
Oh, that's,
That's
the
eight.
second
that's,
one. Yeah.
that's 8. Okay, I thought it was 8, but that's okay. That's BS to me because she should just explode in the pressure of space. I don't think you can.
It just explodes like a watermelon.
You can't tell me that this person in New Hope who was shooting like a beam and like was captured easily is now just protected by by some force from like no, that's BS. Like there's
Yeah.
no way that she's just floating through space. Like she's not like Rick Sanchez where he could find something and make do and then survive and be like there is no God or something. Like she's not that cool. You know what I mean? So like it breaks the word I'm looking for is verisimilitude. Like so
We got a new grammar
Yeah.
master. in
JP.
so
town.
under the parameters that they laid, like that would be unrealistic to me. So like obviously there's lightsabers and stuff, so it's not realistic. But under their ground rules, she shouldn't be able to freaking do that.
But that's a thing they did in this whole new trilogy was make inconsistencies with how you use the Force,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So mainly that's a
exactly.
big one, and then there's also Force healing, which like I think was
Yeah.
canon, was probably canonized in all of the other books.
Could
or
have been
whatever
like
they have.
extended universe stuff.
Yeah, in the EU. But the other thing about that is like it just nullifies everything you could have done. As much
Yes.
like what about Qui-Gon getting stabbed by
Yeah,
Darth Maul?
don't you think they would have
Like,
healed his
sorry,
ass like
force
real
heal.
quick?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Qui-Gon. No force heal yet. So
And then people probably be like,
it was
oh,
inaccessible to him at the time because Obi-Wan was only a Padawan
Yeah,
and did
Obi-Wan
not
didn't
have
know
that
the
power of the
skills
Force,
yet.
okay?
here's the people who really go for that are like the people who go like, actually, I think actually, you know, those
Like
type
they're
of
just
people.
in their glasses
Yeah,
while
they're,
they're
and they're
telling
like
you.
blowing their nose on their hand, like
Yeah.
that type of person.
To the point, though, for Leia, at
Yeah.
least they tried to retcon it with Episode 9 by showing her or showing off that little bit where she did actual Jedi training with Luke. So it's like, okay. But at the time when it was only Episode 8 and
Yeah.
that happened, I
And even
agree
so,
with
I'm
you,
like,
it's
how
kind of
does that
bullshit.
allow her to breathe in space, though?
But
Like,
even
that's
more,
amazing.
I don't even really agree with having Leia become that type of person.
I don't
because
either.
because she always established herself away from the Force. Like,
She never was that.
yeah, she always had the innate ability to sense things and have that ability that, you know, is passed down through her lineage, but developed her own sense of self outside of using like the Jedi ways,
Yeah.
right? And so I never really understood. Well, I guess I do understand it. The whole last movie for me is just a bunch of fan service.
It's-
right?
Yes.
For me,
Yes,
Episode
yes,
9
yes.
was throw as many bandages on as we can from all the scars that Episode 7
Yeah,
and 8 has made.
exactly.
And part of that, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, is the fact that we had 2 directors do this trilogy of movies. Because
Yeah.
after it switched hands to Rian Johnson for Episode 8, when it went back to J.J. Abrams for Episode 9, I don't know if you guys have the same opinion, but if you can remember the movie, the first third of the movie, it's just a roller coaster ride that is not
it's-
stopping.
yeah,
Like,
it
it
just
just
goes.
bashes you over the head. Like there's no breathing room. It's
Yeah.
exposition. Here's an event. Here's an event. Here's an event, and then there's no pause. Like
Yeah.
normally a story arc in a movie is supposed to
Yeah.
have heights and low
Think
valleys,
of,
right?
Think of Luke on like Tatooine, like doo doo.
That happens like that
you know,
happens
there's
for
so much of that.
Yeah,
in
and
the
I
older
think,
ones.
but I think in the older movies too, what you really see is that there is this tripartite of an entire thing where there's one big section, a big middle section, a big other section.
Yeah.
Whereas definitely in 9, I saw that they had here's one fucking planet, here's another planet,
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
like stuff with Kylo doing whatever he's
and
doing.
honestly, like when you get to Episode 2 after watching 4, 5, and 6, because 2 came out after
Yeah.
right after 1, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But when you get to that city where all the it's like a city in the sky and all the
Yeah.
cars, it made it so much cooler, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
But then, like in these new ones, every time you see a new planet, you're like, all right, I guess there's a casino planet for.
You could cut that whole arc out, and the movie would have been the same thing.
oh my
Yeah.
god, like the Rose arc,
Yeah,
we didn't
that-
need it.
You didn't need it.
Yeah, and the other thing about that too is that to go back on using the Force in an appropriate way, they completely take this idea of force transportation or force transportation or telecommunication, whatever, way too far almost. Like I think they do really well to like utilize the story of the duality of the Force, right? That would have
Yeah.
been super cool, and then they just like boned it. You know, they just
That's when you got to watch Rebels or Clone Wars for
Yeah.
that stuff. That stuff is where all that.
I've been.
better
I
story
I
stuff
wanted to
comes
watch Clone Wars actually after seeing all the
very good.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
How was that?
Mandalorian was awesome. I actually really enjoyed it.
it's Baby Yoda. Watch it for the memes.
I liked it for Baby Yoda, but also I think that John Favreau does a really good job of shooting like a total different narrative outside of like the main narrative storyline.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it's simple. I think one of the main sins of the new trilogy is just really trying to throw a lot of things and then trying to throw original trilogy stuff so it gets older fans to
Yeah,
watch it. There's so many moving parts to it that it either comes off as not original at all or just completely not supported by any of the other movies.
And luckily, John Favreau, I think, is the new head of the
Star Wars?
Yeah, I think for the next trilogy, he has
God, the
total
next
control
trilogy?
over it. Yeah,
Holy
I mean,
crap.
they said that they were going to do it, but
Oh,
again,
boy.
the reason why those earlier ones partially is so cohesive is because it was just George Lucas at the helm, but at least it was mostly his vision, right? The switching
Well, yeah.
hands of the directors made it discombobulated and made everything messy, which is why Episode 9 had to fix everything really quick because pretty much the first half of Episode 9 should have been Episode 8, and because Rian Johnson put all this stuff that J.J. Abrams was like, okay, probably didn't plan for that when I made Episode 7, so now I have to retcon all this shit and make sure that it matches up with what I'm trying to present, and that's why it just beats you over
Yeah,
the
I
head for the
remember
first half
episode
of it.
8 at the end. They had those kids like using the Force on the
Yeah.
broom.
And it looked like it could have just been the end of a movie, right?
Yeah.
It looked, yeah,
Yeah.
It looked like they tried to maybe have some foreshadowing with that, but they never
Yeah.
went through in the next movie.
So if it was all just under J.J. Abrams or all just under Ryan Johnson, I'm sure the movies would have turned out a lot better because then you just have a singular vision
Yeah, some
and the cohesive story would have
continuity.
played out
Yeah.
instead of having some person go, make this. Okay, now it's my turn again. Oh, I didn't know you did this. How am I supposed to fix this?
I want to go into the biggest complaint I have, and that's bringing Palpatine back.
Yep.
I think in a sense it's really good fan service because who else is the ultimate evil of the Sith? It's Palpatine.
It's Palpatine, bro.
And like it's really for that reason I understand why people enjoy it, and I'm not going to take that away from anyone. I think like if you liked it because of that, good for you. In my opinion, you bring back Palpatine, you undo the rest of the trilogy, right? Because because you have Anakin who's supposed to like defeat the Sith. They have this whole 6-episode story arc for Anakin.
Yeah.
And then you get to episode 9 of the new trilogy, and oh, sorry, he's back. What? Like you weren't the chosen one. You didn't actually destroy the Sith. The Sith still lives. And then the return of Palpatine also just completely undermines like Snoke or whatever Snoke's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Whatever, because Snoke. But it's like it's almost like a trickadol of bad ideas.
Yeah.
Like here's the original bad guy who could have been really bad, and then he dies unexpectedly in 2 or in 8, and then they throw in Palpatine, who's actually the real ringleader.
Yeah. It kind of felt like they had nothing else to go
What was
with
that word
because
you used, JP?
What?
That started with a T.
T.
You literally just you were describing Palpatine, some weird word.
Oh, Troikadol.
Yeah.
Troikadol.
Troikadol, like rushing Neston doll.
You know those dolls? You open it up and it's another one underneath it.
Oh, okay.
And you open it
Alright.
up, it's another one underneath it.
That was some fancy word, but
No,
like
it's
a
just
doll.
it's just a Russian cultural thing.
But with the revival, I can't speak. With the revival of Palpatine, I don't mind it, but I think they could have done it better because the only cool thing that he did was shoot his force lightning up and like kind of mess up everybody in the sky. But I wanted to see him do that funny spinning move that he did in episode 2 or episode 3 when he
The
killed
spiral?
everybody. Yeah, I wanted
Force
him
spiral?
to. I wanted him to like take out lightsabers and start fighting again. But again, that's probably just due to the time constraints where he had to fit everything in the first half and probably didn't have enough time.
But what
for-
about the
fight.
what about like the spirit of the Force? Like what the hell was that? Like Rey gets all of the Jedi from the past.
That's kind of been established in the Rebels and Clone Wars stuff
Yeah.
a little bit. Again, that's like you have to be real hardcore to kind of understand that stuff because apparently all the voices that were speaking to her at the end, they're all primary characters from the other shows that you might not watch. Like if you only watch 1 through 9, you won't know who half of those characters are.
But that's a problem though.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
Because I think like casual watchers of the Star Wars series will not be those people who watch all these extra things.
Also,
right?
I just don't think like why does she get it of all people?
yeah.
Why
not?
her? You
Yeah.
know, like why isn't it like as utilized before then by like like
And then just the idea of Rey being the like
Palpatine.
Yeah,
Oh,
it- it's
I hate
just-
that.
that's-
I called it. I agreed with
Yeah.
everyone who said she was either going to be related to one of the other main characters. She was either going to be a Skywalker or she was going to be a Kenobi. And I also agreed with those. Or she was going to be related to one of the bad guys. And I was like, it's going to be a Palpatine. And I called it. And it happened. I was like, damn it. I wish they just would have stuck with you're just some random nobody who
Yeah.
also unlocked their potential. It would have been
That would have
made
been
for
so
much
much
better.
better.
Yeah, because people love an underdog, which she was up until it was revealed that her lineage just gave her the most ultimate fighting power in the world.
Yeah.
And then
And then she was never an underdog
Yeah.
because she could do everything.
Yeah.
Remember in 7, the biggest complaint they had about Rey was that, oh, I'll just pick up a lightsaber and use it, right? Like it's nothing. Like I've always used this. And that goes back to she's never really faced any hardship, right? Like all of her hardships are so superficial that they don't really matter that much.
yeah, another podcast that I was listening to, they also did a whole another episode on Star Wars and their issues with it. And one of the other things that they brought up, which I also agree with, is that there's this huge expansive universe in Star Wars, like galaxies, and they have interspatial travel and all these planets. Why always focus on the subset of Skywalker characters when you could make a completely like the Mandalorian's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
has nothing to do like there are cameos and stuff from other characters.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have anything to do with the main cast of characters that we've been exposed to from episodes 1 to 9 now.
Yeah.
And it was arguably a better story because it was all original and it didn't have to rely on the stuff that was established.
Yeah.
Sure, that's great for fan service and of course, the purpose of fan service is to bring in longtime fans to boost sales and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah,
if you're going for a good story, like there's so much you could do with this, but they just choose to rely on the
it could have been
cash
like
cow.
so much more creative.
Yeah.
Really, like it could have explored like many new characters and like new forces that we didn't even know about. You know, like besides the Skywalker Force. Yeah, that
I
that would have been so cool.
I
Actually.
totally agree because like that story ends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Skywalker story ends at Return of the Jedi. We don't really need anything more from that. I think one of the biggest complaints that I saw or that I've read on like any anti new trilogy like Reddit is just how what happens. Like or no, this was actually an article that I read. I'll try and find it again. But they talk about how like the whole premise of the new trilogy is just totally unfounded or it's not supported by anything. Like you go through this whole arc where you've got like a republic that becomes an empire that gets dismantled by a rebel like faction, and then when you get to episode 7, somehow like that didn't all happen because you've got now the new alliance or whatever. You have the new like
First Order.
Yeah, you have the First Order, and then you've got Leia. She's a big deal, but she's also like some sort of rebel.
Yeah.
And so we don't know whether or not like the First Order is actually a bad or a good thing. We just know it because they tell us. You know what I mean? Like, like how is there still a rebel alliance and Princess Leia is still like some sort of big general for something else for the New Republic?
They didn't do a good job at establishing
The world.
the new world.
Yeah.
Like for episode 9, during the classic rolling screen at the beginning of each movie, they just straight up went, Emperor Palpatine is back, and everyone's just like, "What the hell?" Like, you didn't bother doing a cool shot. Well, I mean, they kind of did when they showed all those Snokes in the test tubes, and then they went to the Exegol, right, with the Sith planet, and then they showed him being revived. But I was like, why don't you just keep that out of the rolling screen and make it a cool surprise that people can discover for themselves while they're watching the movie instead of just saying, "Here's just the twist." I mean, I guess maybe people would have known based off of the trailer when he laughs at the end, like. I don't know, maybe make it cool for the people who didn't see the trailer and just leave it out.
In the trailer.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally the first thing before you even see any scene of the movie. Here's the big bad guy that we did not discuss at all for the previous 2 movies.
Not at all.
And now this is going to be the main focus. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's squandered potential.
Can I tell you what
Definitely.
what I think is like actually solid though was when they added the Hobbit to the Lord of the Rings. I
A
thought
lot of people hated The Hobbit.
I didn't like The Hobbit.
I thought the Hobbit was solid.
I only watched the first one.
I definitely don't think it was as good, but that was an add-on that I was like not upset with. And I think all the Harry Potters were good.
Oh, the Harry Potters.
Harry
are fun.
Potter's
All the Harry
great.
Potters were solid. I thought, especially Goblet of Fire. Freaking love that one.
Yeah. Wow, this turned into a movie podcast.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well,
That's
movies are a big part of our childhood as well.
Yeah, Star Wars especially is just a franchise
Yeah.
that we're very
Battlefront
near and
2,
dear
man.
Yeah,
Battlefront,
dude.
Battlefront for
The
the PS3
PS2,
sucked.
Oh yeah, I bet
The new one
well,
was
it got taken by
trash.
EA, right? So
to. Yeah, well, EA is just fucking up with the license, and I
Well,
could go on a whole hour-long rant about
If
that.
they could have just kept the same concept, like where you did a team battle and you had like minions, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like you do in League, and you just have to capture bases,
Mm-hmm.
like that concept was the funnest thing ever.
Yeah.
And if you get good enough, you can get perks and like play it like a Jedi.
Yeah, I definitely think that they went into a really prime type of Battlefront when they got to 2. You know?
Yeah.
And then especially with like all the extras you could make with that. I think how many nights did we stay up really late playing?
1,000 kill
Yeah.
Jedi heroes and villains battle,
Yeah.
or the space
And
1,000
then like
kill space
we,
battles.
Yeah, the
we'd
space
always
battles,
make
dude.
sure we had the
Galactic
battle between
The
Conquest.
like
Galactic
dude.
Conquest was awesome.
we had like Palpatine versus like Princess Leia or
Yeah.
someone.
But so that
Yeah.
we did the show.
Some
we did
lame
the
battle.
The showdowns on the arena.
Showdown did that in that big circle. We'd like meet me at the roof.
Or even better, you could be the Wampas from Ha.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
dude.
so
hunt
fun.
mode.
And you could just go hunt mode. Yeah, so like that type of thing. And it's for these reasons I believe that we have this long-standing respect for the whole franchise.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was handled really well.
Yeah.
And it played an integral part in our like gaming childhood.
Oh yeah.
Right?
For sure. Mm-hmm. Of course, people will say that the people who shit on a franchise are their biggest fans, and I agree with that. Like, nobody's more critical of Star Wars than Star Wars fans.
Yeah, definitely.
You can probably narrow that down to any other fandom, but for good reason, because they want that thing to be as best as it can. And when you see somebody coming out of nowhere and just destroying it, aka Disney and EA, then
Yeah.
people will understandably get upset. But apparently the new Battlefront has gotten better
That's
over
good.
time. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they massively fucked it up when they first released it.
I feel like Smash Bros is not gonna get much better, honestly.
I think this is the last one.
Yeah.
Sakurai said that he wants this to be the last one. I mean, it's called Ultimate for a reason, right?
I just feel like the DLC, and I'm not talking about like the choice of character, but I thought like the abilities and whatnot are all kind of just like very plain. You know,
I mean, you can only do so much.
I know, but I thought they could have done some cooler things.
How
you
many
know?
more
We got
fighters
six more-
are
we got
there?
six more characters
more.
in,
on
this,
the way.
in the next
That'll
6,
be
I hope to
intense.
see like some cooler like. Because this is like the last game, probably. So like some more mechanics, you know,
Yeah.
like stuff like Incineroar or even small stuff like that is very cool. You
Well, that's
know?
why when they rumored that Minecraft Steve was going to be a
yeah,
character,
that'd be so cool.
as much as I dislike that idea because I think it's stupid, he could bring some pretty cool things.
If he
like
could build a
building
brick,
mechanic.
yeah.
yeah. So like whatever.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like characters who are unique and don't feature the same type of, you know, that's what makes a game
Another
like
sword
the
fighter.
game cool. Yeah, exactly.
You know
what
what'll get me to play it? Yugi Moto.
Hey.
if
He
Yugi
just
was in
uses
the game,
obliterate everything.
can we all talk?
Yeah,
can we all
dual
say a
disc
character
Yugi.
that we
Yeah, let's all go around and go a character you want.
one character
Is
you'd
it,
like to
wait,
see in
does this
Smash
have to be
Bros?
realistic character, or
No,
can it
just
be
like
like total out of-
anything.
Anyone you'd love
Blue.
to see in Smash
Freaking
Bros.
Master Chief, bro. That'd be
Master
sick.
Chief, you
Master
think?
Chief.
Yeah, he would have like all like the Halo weapons for
Might.
sure.
I don't know. Microsoft and Nintendo have been pretty good with each other recently, so there might
Oh.
be a
Master
chance.
Chief would be incredible.
Okay,
That'd be,
so-
so
dope, man.
Dan's got Master
Dan,
Chief.
that'd be your
on-
main immediately.
on
Get the energy sword going.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Peter?
Sly Cooper.
Oh,
I'm with you on that
Sly
one.
Cooper,
He was
because
in PlayStation All Stars already.
I know, so he couldn't, but he'd have like, you know, all his family had the abilities. That he has so
He's
much
got a big-
potential.
he's got a big
and he's got like a big like cane that he could like jab. You know, it makes so much sense. But
I got a new one. I want you to go first though.
For me, real answer would be
Sora,
I think he has a chance, and I thought he was going to be the Squeenix character.
Yeah.
But one character that I'd like to see is Spyro, personally.
Spyro,
I
that
really
would
like
be very
Spyro. He
cool.
wouldn't be a sword fighter. He'd be more along the lines of like Banjo or something.
Are
I
you
mean, he's
sure?
maybe, I
they
don't know.
give him a sword.
Yeah.
But he has like all those cool breaths from
He swallows
Season of
the
the
sword
Dragonfly,
bubble.
right? That was a game.
He has swords coming out of his tail.
Him or my personal request is Shantae, which is a character from like an indie game, but that's a different thing.
Shantae.
Shantae, yes. She's from a platformer game that's one of my favorite series of all time because the music's super good.
Nice.
Otherwise, put Goku.
Goku.
I was thinking of that. Here's mine.
Okay.
Doodle Bob.
Hey.
Doodle Bob.
He just erases people.
Yeah, yeah.
Real talk, I thought LeBron James should be a character. And he'd have a ball and he would like dunk on you.
It's like
throw a ball at
photorealistic
you.
LeBron James.
Yeah. Like NBA and Nintendo would have a huge crossover that would make so much money. Like all the NBA fans would buy Smash for it, and then
Yeah.
all the Smash fans would now watch LeBron.
That would be the most like
that-
weird thing to see a regular human.
Yeah.
It could be an animated
Anime
LeBron,
character.
but like think about the controversy if they pick like him or like Kobe or like
Oh,
Jordan.
if they-
Who's the goat?
They gotta.
that gets
They
to
have
be
to
the
respect
character.
Kobe
They have to put
now.
Kobe
Rest
in,
in
man.
peace.
They'd have to do Kobe.
They're gonna have to put
Wait,
him.
wait, sorry. Put Kobe in his ultimate as a helicopter move.
Oh my god. Too soon. Bruh.
Oh man.
Cut that.
No, I'm leaving that in.
activates it.
I'm definitely leaving that one in.
Oh no.
You're gonna be haunted by his spirit now.
Oh my god, JP, that's horrible.
I was just talking to Peter and Dan how there's a formula for how long it has to be before you can make fun of a tragic event.
What is it?
I don't know, but it definitely doesn't feel like it's been long enough for you to do that. Oh.
I can't have been the first to do it.
No, definitely
No,
not.
there's so many memes about Kobe now.
Oh no.
There's so many memes.
There's
about
like
it.
the one tweet that somebody predicted it, and then there was a Comedy Central like cartoon bit that actually showed Kobe in a helicopter crashing, and then
like years before this happened.
years before. It was crazy. I saw that
Yeah.
cartoon bit. It was like on Comedy
I
Central.
watched it as well.
You saw the cartoon thing?
Mhm.
That one like really freaked me out. I was like, whoa.
It's like how The Simpsons predicts everything, right?
But yeah, if you see it, you'll be like, what the heck? That's way too coincidental.
The media's running the strings behind the scenes, man.
It's the Illuminatis.
The Illuminati.
Yeah.
I like the idea of LeBron or Kobe being in Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it'd be fun, and I think
Can
like
you imagine his down A would be something like dribble the basketball and
yeah, he would like dribble on top of someone, or like I was thinking like
If you hold B, he throws the basket.
he throws a ball at you, yeah, or something, and then his up B would be like a dunk or something, grabbing the rim. Like,
I would love an NBA All Stars Smash Bros.
oh yeah,
Can you think of Shaq's up B as holding onto the rim and smacking it, and then if you go down, he drops it on you?
yeah. Like I always think of Smash with different characters. Like I think like League of Legends would have like Lee Sin in that game would be very
Yeah,
fun.
you
Well,
always
then Smash
admire
Bros. just
Lee Sin.
becomes Tekken or Soul Calibur.
They're
well,
different fighting games though. They're
yeah,
very different styles.
they're similar, but the thing that Smash has is
Platforming.
It's platforming. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about not getting knocked off stage, which is like it doesn't HP like is recommended, but doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
You could die anytime.
Oh, actually, I only play stamina mode.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. I play stamina on like flat stages with no edge. So I play fighting game.
That's a pretty interesting point, though. Like the fact that Smash is the platforming fighter genre is kind of the only other fighting genre besides the typical. I guess
Yeah.
you could decide that 3D fighters like Tekken and Soul Calibur are a differentiation from the typical like DBZ Budokai 2D
Yeah.
just face each other type thing. There's like only like two formats of fighting games, which is kind
Yeah,
of interesting.
Sakurai put it the best. He said Smash is like just a big celebration of gaming, which it kind of is. It's like playing your favorite characters.
It's the most ambitious crossover.
Yeah, it's like yeah, because like if you're watching a show and you're like, how many times have we probably said something stupid like, "Do you think Goku could beat Yu-Gi-Oh?" or someone like that?
Honestly.
And now you could kind of find out
Yeah.
in Smash.
Yeah.
And there are other fan games online that will allow you to fulfill that fantasy.
Like
Yeah.
Chinese games.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, there's this one
could
called
catch the-
Smash
Rivals.
Flash.
Well, there's Smash Flash, and there's like Rivals of Ethers, where people can mod their own characters, and so you can have like Naruto fight Goku, fight Shrek.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the League knockoff, right?
Yeah,
In
well, there
China.
is a Chinese League knockoff that has Shrek and Naruto in
that's
it.
cool.
That's because copyright law
Don't
doesn't
get-
exist in China. So.
No.
But you know what does?
Coronavirus.
Oh.
Funny, here's your coronavirus meme of the day.
Yeah,
Oh.
wait. Have we reached like the time where we can like joke about that or no?
It's
I
a
feel like it hasn't.
contemporary. I mean, people are making memes about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You're
like
gonna get demonetized, bro.
Will you get demonetized if you mention that?
Corona,
in video?
yep.
are we even monetized?
We're talking about no,
If
definitely
we
not.
if we got demonetized, I would take it as a compliment. Because that meant
That means
we
people
had
have listened to us
Yes.
enough.
You
to
can't even
actually
start to monetize
demonetize.
these things until you have a certain consistent level of viewers. So it's fine. Hey, tell your friends and family about our podcast so we can monetize their videos and then get demonetized because we're
Yeah.
talking about coronavirus.
That's one of those things where it's like people will frame cease and desist letters from big companies.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I have.
I've seen somebody who like framed a big cease and desist letter from Disney because they copied something a little too close and they framed it. I would do that.
It's like a badge of honor to say, hey, this big corporation thinks enough of this tiny internet creator.
Or we got big
To
enough
try
to
to
where they noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to make characters like Bicky Bouse and and Honald Huck. like no, we swear we didn't copy anything.
What are you talking about? These are new characters.
Yeah, this guy's name is
Yeah.
Boofy. Like
Georg?
Georg.
Is this like a hood funded Disney?
Yeah. Yo, what's up? It's Bookie or Boofy.
Man, it's Boofy.
Yeah.
I have been seeing people call coronavirus beer AIDS instead. So I'm going to call it beer AIDS from now on. Forget
Oh, no.
core or COVID-19. It's beer AIDS from now on.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
my
I love it
favorite,
though.
though.
That's the
I
greatest.
think it's so funny that Corona sales went down.
Yeah, there was only one way that was going to happen.
Like no marketing team could have prepared for this.
I feel like
They're like, fuck.
yeah, the last two things that really surprised me were that and then the fucking Peloton thing.
Oh,
Peloton, yeah.
the commercials.
Yeah, where they like all of Twitter went crazy, and then
so weird.
And then Peloton's stock dropped
Yeah.
because of it. Did you hear about that?
No.
So Peloton put out a big commercial. Was it for the Super Bowl?
I think it was before
beforehand.
it.
They
Yeah.
put out a big commercial where this woman received a Peloton, which is basically
bike.
just a bike,
Yeah.
for her birthday or some shit. And people on the internet were like, "Look at this woman. She looks emaciated. Maybe she's got all these mental issues, and the man is making her do this." And all of these things swirled around Twitter. and then Peloton lost a lot of money.
Wait, that's bullshit.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I guess that just means that get a large enough crowd riled up about something and can actually have an influence on what you're doing. So people, maybe marketing teams got to be a little more careful about how they handle things nowadays.
But also, who cares about Peloton?
I don't know.
It's a bike.
Apparently, they got like copyright strike because the music they were playing was like.
They didn't get the license.
Yeah,
for
they didn't
it.
get the license for the music, so they had.
What
some,
are they doing?
Why didn't they do that though?
Don't
That's
you-
on
that's
them.
why you hire a legal team, is it not?
They didn't have enough money for the legal team. They blew it all. On
They
the
blew it
marketing.
all on a stupid commercial.
Yeah.
Man.
I just like in the commercials, the guy who's supposed to be hyping you up, he's like, "Let's go Peloton," and it's like,
Are we Peloton?
exactly like who's he talking to? It's
really
like,
interesting.
are you Peloton now that you're using the product? Like you're
Or are
you're
just
the product now.
Or are you Peloton by nature?
Or is he
'Cause
talking
this adds
to it
an
because it's
interesting notch to my idea that everyone is named John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Let's
Because
go
if his
Peloton.
name is my name too, and
Oh.
everyone says it technically, and then we had Peloton.
By the transitive property.
yes.
I see.
Think about that. And then if we had Peloton, which is basically just like a human Pokemon name, we're all Pokemon, right?
it's a
like
bike.
They probably will make a bike Pokemon at some
Yeah.
point.
I feel like they have.
They'll
one.
make a trophy Pokemon.
They're
a
running out
treadmill
of inanimate
Pokemon.
objects to make things.
Lampion,
They'll make
ice
like
cream,
they'll
bro.
make a hammer.
Hammermon.
With the
What
ice
noise-
cream Pokemon,
TV,
this evolved form
TV.
goes from
It's a
single
bigger ice
scoop
cream.
to a double
TV.
scoop to a triple scoop.
Yeah.
How do you evolve
TV,
TV?
TV.
Does TV evolve?
HD, 4K, 4K.
I think that when it hatches from its egg, it starts off as a TV remote. It's a remote
Yeah, it's a
control,
little thing.
and then it goes into one of those big guys. You know,
Yeah.
the really big,
Oh yeah,
the old TVs.
yeah CRTVs. Then it turns into a flat screen. It's like use Tangle.
Use static.
Yeah.
Hire us to create the next generation of Pokemon.
There's gonna be Couchmon.
But that would also require us to make some sort of weird dual, or at least 3-part name for the new series. Remember when we were kids, we used to make up names for what could be the new Pokemon versions.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Like how we were like, oh maybe they'll make. I think after they did Ruby and Sapphire, we were
Yeah.
like, let's make like Aquamarine and Pearl and other things before Diamond and Pearl came out. We were just
Yeah.
like, let's just take gemstones. They kind of follow that.
What if there was Pokemon push, Pokemon pull, Pokemon legs? It's like workouts. Pokemon shoulders.
It's just everything is super ripped.
Pokemon chest.
The legendary at the end of the game is just a really big 16-armed Machamp.
Yeah,
Dang.
He's got 8 legs as well.
He didn't skip leg day.
Oh no.
but he's so big he can't scratch his back because his shoulders are too big.
I like to think it's just like a big collection of muscles and then a single eye you can see through
It's like
them.
it's not Machamp. It's like my lord, my king,
And then there's Lady Machamp. There's Milady.
my lady.
Yeah.
Okay, well I guess that's it then. So
Signing off.
Bye.
Bye, man.